What's up, Vapers? Thanks for checking out Daily Vape TV. My name is Nick, and it's Fresh Build Friday. That's right, it's that time of the week again, where we get you ready for the weekend with a brand new coil build. Now, here on Daily Vape TV, we are no stranger to the absurd, the excessive, the why the hell would you even need something like that? And today, I bring you just that. We have Steam Crave's new full setup here. This is the Titan RDTA on top of the Titan box mod, and we're going to build some very high voltage coils for this PWM box here inside of this tank. I know it's been a while since I've done a Fresh Build Friday video, but I really do hope you guys enjoy this one. So let's get right into it. Go ahead and grab your mod, your wick, your addy, your tools, your wire, all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and dive down to the close-up view and let's build it up. Alright guys, so as you can see, we've got everything laid out in front of us here, all of our various tools that we're going to be using today. We've got the Steam Crave all taken apart. It's all in a bunch of different pieces here. And we've got the Titan box mod off to the side to be used a little bit later on. But we've got the deck right here on our ohm reader, and I don't know about you guys, but I can't wait to build this thing. I've never built for a PWM before. So this should be kind of interesting. I'm not sure which way I want to attack this, but today I'm going to be using this Anarchist wire here. This is 24 gauge Anarchist wire. And yeah, let's just go ahead and get our wire out. I'm not even sure how many wraps I want to do. Probably between 10 to 12 wraps of this 24 gauge Anarchist wire. I don't know. We'll see. I want to make it the exact width of these post holes here. So that's what we're going to do. Today I've got this big, huge, chunky 4mm bit that I'm going to be using. And that's what we're wrapping around today. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. So I'm going to do this by hand just because I think I can do it pretty easily. Just straighten the wire out a little bit. And let's just get wrapping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Well, let's say 12 wraps. Let's see where that gets us. About half of the way there. I could do a lot more. Let's do 15. 13, 14, 15. Ooh, it's pretty close. Do I want to go more? 15. Let's do one more. 16 wraps. And I've heard other people build on this thing with fairly high resistances in the area of, the 1+ ohm. Don't think this is going to be 1+ ohm, but it's going to be, pretty up there, considering I'm using 24 gauge wire. So we'll see about what we get here. Straighten those legs out a little bit, tighten it up as much as I possibly can. This stuff is a little bit springy, but we'll just deal with it. And yeah, that coil is done. Pop this side in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Ooh, doubled up. 15, 16 wraps. All right. So that one's good to go. Pop that wire over there. All right. Let's straighten this leg out a little bit. Just like that. And we should be good to go. 4mm coils. These are some massive coils, but it's almost nothing for this Steam Crave RDTA. That's what they call it. Don't see exactly how it's an RDTA, but whatever. We'll go over that a little bit more maybe in the full review video. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get my coily tool. This is great for building on postless decks like this here. And I'm just going to measure. Now, I'm not sure, actually, before I do anything, I'm not sure if this goes all the way through to the bottom. It does. Okay, so these I can actually let dangle a little bit if I have to. But what we're going to do here is just kind of measure the deck a little bit. Usually what I like to do is kind of put it down to the bottom. Let's see, put it down to the bottom there, and then just kind of measure it from here. So Let's see, that would be doop, right there. That is 5.5 millimeters. So you pop your coil onto there and get your cutters out. Lop them off at the bottom. Oop, make sure they're even first. Oops. There we go. And then it gives you the perfect depth for your coils. So once I tighten that down a little bit and pull up on it, it'll be absolutely perfect there. Tighten up these legs a little bit. Then we could just straighten our coils out, lift up on the deck a little bit, or lift them off the deck, I should say, a little bit. Just like that, kind of moving them a little bit closer together. You want to have them a tiny bit spaced out because you don't want them to heat up too much when they're together like that. But it's the moment of truth. What do you guys think this will ohm out to? I'm going to guess somewhere in the area of about 0.7? I don't know. I don't know. I have no clue. 0.36. Wow. All right. It's a little bit lower than I anticipated. 0.3 ohms. Man. Maybe it'll jump up a little bit when we get some more heat going on here. 0.47. It's a little bit more logical. That's a lot of wire. And it's taken a lot to glow these coils. Oh, 0.66. Now we're jumping. Big time. But yeah, the coils are glowing from the middle out, which is actually a good sign. Real quick, I'm just going to double check the screws because that's what I always do. Ooh, it's a little bit warm. Oh, we had a loose screw there. That's why I always check. Okay, that should be good. 0.7. We're not done yet, too, so could still shift around quite a bit. Need to get some real heat on there, though. Come on, boys. Stick together. So these are looking pretty darn good. And look at that. It's right at 0.7. It's right at 0.7. I just took a shot in the dark, too. Random. Okay. So these are looking really good. I'm pretty happy with them. They're not the best coils in the universe, but they're not the worst. I think it's time we just go ahead and wick them. Alright, so to wick these guys, I'm going to be using some Native Wicks cotton, as I typically do. And we're going to use a lot of it. So, well, I just have a random little piece there. That might work. But let's just cut us a fresh piece here. It's going to need to be pretty thick. Use your best judgment. Just kind of roll it around in your fingers and just kind of think to yourself, is that going to fit through there? I know what you're going to say in the comments. That's what she said. Yeah, let's just go ahead and get started here. So I'm just going to roll this up a little bit, just the little end of it there, just so we can fit it through the coil. And let's see. This is kind of the delicate process here. You just want to thread it through without messing up that coil. I usually kind of twist it a little bit as well. And I also kind of twist as I pull it through the coil just to kind of make it nice and even. But yeah, that's good and tight right there. That little extra piece, you know, it's a good thing I keep the little extra pieces from when I re-wick my RDAs and stuff. I'll just have sometimes just a random piece lying around, and sometimes it's the perfect amount of cotton, so you can't go wrong with saving your little excess pieces of cotton. Same kind of thing here. You just want to really roll up the very end of it super tight, as tight as you can, and thread it on through your coil. Nice and tight once again. So tight that you feel like you're going to mess up your coil, but you're not. All right, so now that we have two fluffy pieces of cotton in our coils, we're basically just going to kind of lean them down and measure how much cotton we need, which pretty much kind of leads me to believe we should be good at right about here, just like that. And trim off all of that side. Try to get it as even as possible. We're going to go back into it, don't worry, but yeah, you want to just get it started as even as possible. So right about there. It's not a very scientific thing. You just kind of bend it down. And it looks like with this process here, I've never built on one of these atomizers before, so I don't really know. But I feel like we're just going to keep it pretty thick. You don't have to thin this stuff out at all. And you want to basically block off this little bottom section here. So just kind of bend it down into there. And we'll see how that fills it out. Looks like it's pretty good. I'm hoping that we don't get any spillage here, leakage. I'm not going to fill the whole tank because that is absurd. So I'm going to just use some of this. This is called O'Haro from, what is it, Fruity Twist. It's one of the lines from Vape Goons. O'Haro. It's awesome. So I'm just going to kind of give it as little juice as possible. And I know that sounds weird, but it's still going to soak up probably 2 mils of e-liquid, if not maybe even more, because of just how much of a mass of cotton this is. Notice how I didn't fluff it out. I didn't do anything to it. I just basically tucked it directly down in there. And that's because, you want this to fill out the bottom part of this deck. You don't want it to be too thin and too loose, because then it's going to do nothing but just leak and leak and leak and leak and leak. Should be all set. That's looking pretty good. I think we'll leave it there. And one thing you got to make sure of is you got to have this little piece in line, because it's got your lock and unlock, kind of your juice lock section down here. So you can actually block off the juice flow holes just by spinning that. But this piece comes out. It's not hooked onto anything, so you got to make sure that's in there. There we go. That looks pretty good to me. And it looks like that these bottom pieces here are pretty well blocked off. I'm hoping that's the case, because I really don't want to dump 30 mils of juice down the drain at the end of this thing. So let's go ahead and screw this piece together. Threads on this thing are a bit on the chunky side, I'm not going to lie. Definitely kind of crunchy. All right. Right now I'm in blocked off mode, so I'm going to have to just kind of dump some juice into here. You can literally just pour it in. I'm pouring juice into it. I feel like Tom Cruise in Cocktails. I'm just going to fill it up to there for right now, because otherwise it is just insane. I don't think, I'm praying this thing doesn't leak. Oh, please don't leak on me. And there you have it, the Steam Crave Aromamizer Titan RDTA put back together all in one piece in this massive setup here. So let's go back to the main screen, have a quick vape on this thing, and we'll talk about it some more. All I could say is, wow, holy crap, this thing is an absolute cloud machine. All right, so now that we have it all built up, I can say that it came out to 0.69, 0.7, pretty damn close to my prediction there, and I'm super happy about that. I'm rocking it currently at 8.4 volts. Yes, 8.4 volts. So this thing has quad battery power. Hopefully it holds up. And just look at this. This is just a sample bottle of this juice that I used. This is the O'Haro by Vape Goons from their Fruity Twist line. I used over 15 mils. That is about 20 mils inside of that tank, and it's barely halfway up the chamber. So this thing holds an absolute ton of liquid. Real quick before I continue, I just want to show you guys another quick cloud shot, just because this thing is absolutely ridiculous. So as it stands right now, I've got the airflow set to pretty much wide open. It's the smaller set of the bigger holes, and I feel like that is just the right amount of restriction for me, because with it completely wide open, it doesn't really ramp up before I get the full lung feeling. So for me, it makes me almost want to cough even before I get a full lung if I have the airflow wide open. That being said, the draw itself is on the cooler side. It's kind of a nice warm vape, but it's definitely not overly hot, and I kind of contribute that to the fact that these coils are so massive that it does take a while to ramp up even at this power setting. So yeah, this thing is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, this thing is massive. It holds a ton of juice. The builds that you can possibly do in this thing are almost endless. I am really loving it, honestly. I'm actually enjoying it. I didn't think I would really like something this ginormous, but to be honest, it's definitely growing on me. I could see myself just vaping this thing all day long. Battery life has been excellent so far. I've been using it all day, and my batteries are barely down at all, so that's awesome. As far as the flavor is concerned, even with a standard round wire build, nothing too fancy in this thing, it's pretty darn good. I've got this lychee flavor in here right now, and it's popping, so I'm pretty happy with that. This is a Nic salt. They use Nic salt in this juice here, which is actually really nice because you get a nice clean, super clean fruity flavor, which is awesome. And as far as I'm concerned, I feel like even with some of the more advanced builds, it's only going to get better. So if you're a big fan of those big, chunky, complicated coils, just throw whatever you got at this thing because it can absolutely handle it. Wicking it was actually not as difficult as I thought. So as far as the overall difficulty of this build, I think the most difficult part of this build would be the wicking, and even that wasn't as bad as I thought it would be because, yeah, you just want to make sure that cotton touches the bottom of that deck there and you're good to go. Just make sure you build this thing with massive coils because those 2.5 millimeter coils are just not going to fly here unless you do about half a dozen of them. But one more quick cloud shot here, then we'll sign off. Alright guys, that about does it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. Leave your comments down there in the box below, and check me out on all my various social media pages and my website, dailyvape.tv. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and as always, vape on! This thing is absolutely ridiculous.